Hello everybody and welcome to Transform Your Business Thursday. This is Nikki Gangemi and I want to welcome you. If you're on the live, say hi, and if you're on the replay, hashtag replay. I'm noticing as I'm speaking in here for the first time since I had a bed that was removed, and now that I'm talking for the first time, I feel like I'm echoing. So do you hear an echo? It's just so funny. I'm realizing this right now. This is like a home office, and I had a bed here, and this is like the spare bedroom, and I kept it for when on the off occasion somebody would sleep over, and I decided now that I'm home full-time, completely in my business, not going to the day job anymore, I need to make this bedroom office just an office where I have my space, because I really believe that creating a space that feels good for you to work in is really important to just opening up your mind, that creativity. And now that I'm speaking for the first time with no bed, I hear an echo. So for those of you who don't know me yet and you're new to my world, I'm Nikki Gangemi, and I help online coaches shift their identity to thriving entrepreneurs so they can make more money and impact doing what they love. And today I want to talk about a topic that I really love because I think it can be eye-opening, and that is paying attention to what conditions you place on success, on freedom, on happiness, on even having fun. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So we don't realize it, and that's why I'm having a discussion about this, but we don't realize how many rules we place on things and how many conditions. And I want to really kind of bring this to the surface, because once you realize that you're doing it, you can stop. Right? You can just let go, and how great is that? So if you're on the live and you want to share with me, let me know, what are some conditions you place on yourself when it comes to your success, your happiness. Let me give you an example. I'm part of Project Positive Change, and we were last minute looking for a featured speaker for tonight's call. And I was, putting out messages, who would like to be a featured speaker for tonight's call, and nobody was really responding. So I went and I started private messaging people, and I private messaged this one woman who I think is wonderful based on what I see online, and I asked her if she wanted to speak. Good afternoon, Edmund. Thanks for being here. Greetings from Ireland. Hello from the USA. Hello. I'm going to be seeing you soon, right, in October. We're going to meet up. It's going to be so cool. This is what I love about this online world, you guys, is that you get to connect and meet with people all over the world. It's just so expansive. It's so cool. I love the collaboration. So looking forward to that in a few weeks, Edmund. What was I saying now? Now I lost my train of thought. So this woman, so I reach out to her and I let her know that we're having this call, and I asked her if she wanted to be a featured speaker, and she said, "Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I struggle with feeling worthy enough to be a featured speaker when there are so many others that are so far ahead of me. And I know it's silly, but I feel like I'm behind and I'm not ready yet." And that's something that also made me think about this topic today. It's like, so when will you know you're ready? And I totally understand how she's feeling. I still feel the same way. But when we put conditions on ourselves, when we put what does it have to look like for you to be ready to be a featured speaker, for you to be ready to feel that you can host an online event of some kind, or even go live, or run a Facebook challenge, or start a blog, start a business. What are you telling yourself that you need to have in place first before you can take those actions? And what I want, my intention in talking about this is just to bring this to light. And is this making sense, you guys? Is this resonating? I just want to make sure I'm explaining it clearly. But I'm thinking of, we cap ourselves off so much because we tell ourselves that things have to be a certain way, and we have to have certain things in place before we can say yes to do a speaking engagement, or before we can say yes to running a Facebook challenge, or before we can say yes to start doing Facebook Lives. Anything that's beyond our comfort zones, we start to question and second guess. Edmund, yes, I'm very much looking forward to meeting up with you in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Yes, thank you for sharing your wisdom. Yeah, we're going to have fun. It's going to be so cool to connect. I think I've known you in the online space for like over a year now. So very cool to meet people. And I'll tell you, it's such a different energy meeting, all of us meeting in person rather than just seeing ourselves and each other behind a screen. So yeah, so what I want to share with you is when something is uncomfortable or difficult, or maybe it's too much of a stress, you're feeling too much resistance in whatever it is that you want to do because you're placing those conditions on yourself, you're placing those rules. It's better to start with something that's simpler. So I'm going to share this with you because I recently, actually yesterday, posted in the group that a friend of mine challenged me to have 100 days of fun. Now, this doesn't sound like a big deal, and I didn't think it was a big deal. But the moment I said yes, and then I realized when I say yes to something I like to commit and show up, I panicked because I thought, oh my God, 100 days of fun? And I got really uncomfortable. And like I tell you guys, whenever you're having some kind of negative emotion or some kind of discomfort comes up, to get curious. So I got curious and I said, what is this about? Why am I feeling uncomfortable about having fun for 100 days? And I got quiet and I just listened. And I had thoughts like, that's just too much fun. I mean, 100 days in a row of having fun, you've got work to do. You've got a lot to do. You've got no business going off and having fun for 100 days. And then I thought, what conditions am I placing on having fun? You see, the way we do one thing, we do a lot of things. So not only do I and other people put conditions on their success and their happiness and their freedom, but who would have thought we put conditions on fun? We put conditions on everything. Think about if you really are craving some ice cream, let's just say, and how often do you say to yourself, well, I really shouldn't. I shouldn't have that ice cream tonight. But if you went to the gym and you had a really great workout, then have you ever had that conversation? Well, I deserve to have a dish of ice cream because I worked out really hard today. And that's just another example of how we're always putting these conditions on ourselves. We're always placing these rules and these parameters in our mind that allow us to feel okay when we do something. So getting back to this fun thing, I said, okay, I'm getting really uncomfortable. To me, it's a waste of time because there's work to be done. But also I realized that I placed a rule that you have fun after you work hard. Like you work hard and then you're rewarded. And this is something that we're taught, right? Even in school, you do your work, you're like, the good student doing, his or her work. And then there's a reward. There's a pick from the treasure chest, or you have playtime or something like that. It's kind of ingrained in us. So when we're asked to do something that goes against what we know, what we're comfortable, a rule that we've established for ourselves, all of a sudden it becomes really uncomfortable. And I actually got upset because another fear came up that I didn't realize I had. And that was, if I have too much fun, if I enjoy too much, then the ball's going to drop and that something bad will follow. Now, is this true? No. Consciously, my mind knows that that's not the case. But the thing is, we function most of our time unconsciously, on autopilot. So we don't even realize these little things. So all the more when you're feeling resistance to doing something, you get a chance to stretch and grow by just breathing through it and pushing yourself to do it anyway. So I said yes to this. And I went out and I got this fun notebook. I just went to the dollar store and I thought this was fun because it's like the animal print with the hot pink splashes, and that's one of my colors. So I got this notebook, and every day in this notebook I'm going to document how I'm having fun. And you know what else came up? And I always share about myself because I'm hoping that, there's a lesson here and you can learn. Maybe you could see yourself in it too, and I would love for you to share if anything is coming up for you. But as I was recording, I started 2 days ago. September 24th was my first day. 100 Days of Fun, day 1. As I started writing, I started noticing that I was placing conditions on what constituted fun. Can you believe that? And now that I think about it, it's really not that surprising, because if you place rules on one thing, you likely place rules on everything. So in my mind, I was thinking, what was fun? Day 1 was a big day, right? Day 1, I said, I'm going to get in the car, I'm going to go over to the beach, I'm going to sit, I'm going to do some work on the beach, and I'm going to go on, I saw some swings, and I said, I'm going to go on the swings. And something I don't normally do, right? I mean, I haven't been on swings in years. So I went to the beach, I did some work, and then I went on the swings. But even as I walked over to the swings, I had rules in my head. I had these conditions in my head. There was a young couple there with their little son. He looked to be about 18 months old, and he was playing on, they had this little jungle gym with a slide and monkey bars and then these swings. And as I was walking over, I was thinking to myself, oh boy, what are these people going to think of this adult walking over to the swings with no child? What must they be thinking? And I noticed feelings of like shame and embarrassment came up. Like, what am I doing? I'm too big to be doing this, but I had in my mind, I'm committed to fun. I said I was going to go on some swings today, like my friend did, so I'm going to do this anyway. And as I walked over and I sat down, I noticed they kind of looked at me. And honestly, I probably would too. I would wonder, what is this grown-up doing here with no kid sitting on the swings? It is a little strange, but again, that's a judgment, and that's what we do. And as I started swinging, I was trying really hard to just be in the moment and get comfortable. And at one point they looked at me and I said, would you mind taking a picture of me? And they kind of paused. And then I felt the need to explain myself. And this is where I lost power. And I gave my power away because I really had nothing to explain. But in my head, there was a story. In my head, there were rules and there were conditions. I said, you see, my friend challenged me to have 100 days of fun. So I saw some swings and I thought I'd walk over here and can you take a picture to show proof that I'm having fun? Like, why did I have to explain myself in such detail to these strangers? And she just, the wife said, oh, sure. She really didn't know what to say, and I don't blame her. And she took a few pictures of me, and you saw the one that I posted here in the group. But, and I was able to get to a moment where as I was swinging, I just kind of leaned back in the swing, and I looked up at the blue sky and the white puffy clouds, and I was able to just slip into the moment. And then I closed my eyes, and then I was able to feel the breeze that, was on my face, and I was like, okay, there it is. There it is. I was able to kind of slip into fun for a second, maybe 2 seconds. I was able to let go of the story. I was able to let go of the conditions, of the rules. And then I felt so much lighter. And then after that I drove home and I turned up the music, and it's just really a learning process for me. And I'm inviting you to notice some of the conditions that you place around, even if it's something so simple as fun. Because here's the thing, if you're placing rules and parameters and conditions around things like when it's okay to have ice cream, when it's okay to have fun, then you can be certain that you're also placing these same rules and more on the bigger things in life, the bigger things in your business. And what can open up for you when you start just letting go, when you start thinking, well, what if I am ready to share my knowledge and say yes to doing being a featured speaker? What if I am ready to start my business or move it to the next level? What if I am ready to hire an assistant to help me with my business? What if I am ready to start that blog that I wanted to, or to start doing live trainings like I've only been thinking about? When we have resistance and when fear comes up, one of my colleagues said this yesterday. I was interviewing her, and she said it's just that we hit a boundary of our current reality. And I really love that. Her explanation of fear, her name is Angela Britton, and that's what she said. She said fear is just that you hit a boundary of your current reality. And it happens all the time, and it happens in small ways. I hit a boundary when I was walking over to those swings on the beach. It was a boundary for me. You know, you don't belong on a swing as a 40-year-old without a child. That's wrong. There's something wrong. It looks weird, you know, that it's a boundary. So it feels uncomfortable. But if you can just breathe through it and do it anyway, on the other side of that line, on the other side of that boundary, is the freedom that you want. And then you can take that freedom and you can then bring some of that into some of the things that you want to do in your business. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, you guys. So that's what I want to challenge you to do, is just to start becoming mindful of the conditions and the rules that you place on things like success and happiness and freedom and fun, and question it. Is this true? Is this true? And when will I know that it's okay to have fun? When will I know that I am ready? What will that look like? And just become curious and see what comes up for you. But if we can start letting go and moving into a lighter space, like fun, what happens is we raise our energy, right? Our vibes get raised. We start to feel more ease. And when we relax and start to feel more ease, we can think more clearly. You know, it's like our mind opens up. It's like that doorway of creativity. And also you get to change your perspective. And like I said, you get to expand, you get to grow, and you get to feel that freedom that you want so bad. It's on the other side of the boundary. So I want to invite you to push the boundary, to get outside of your comfort zones, to let go, and to have some fun so that you can open up to more of the success and the happiness that you want. And you will not only transform your business, but you will also transform your life. So that is all for today. Let me know if you have any questions at all. And I'm just going to end with reminding you that my niche and message clarity challenge starts on this Monday, September 30th. And I want to say that this is not going to be your average figure out your niche and your message, craft your what I do statement. We're going to be doing that, but I'm putting my own spin on it because we all have people that teach us how to do that. There's a ton of systems and frameworks and all these things, but how we're going to do it is we're going to look at it as an inside out process. We're going to get into what is beneath the resistance of committing to niching down and getting real specific with your message. How can we unpack some of that? And so I just wanted to let you know that this is going to be different from what you're used to when it comes to picking a niche and clarifying your message. So I'm excited about this. I'm going to post a link for you to join. It's totally free. It's 5 days. It starts on Monday, September 30th, and it goes through Friday, October 4th. I believe Friday's the 4th, and it will all take place in this group, and we're going to bring fun to this because the topic of what do I do, who do I serve, it can be heavy, and it can be where you cringe, and we don't want any of that, right? So we're going to bring some fun, we're going to bring lightness, and we're going to bring ease, because what if we can make this easy? And guess what? Once you get to that place of it can be easy, it's like all of a sudden the mind opens and it's like, oh my gosh, it was there all along. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing, and I would love to have you join me. Thanks again for tuning in. Any questions, you let me know, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now, everybody.